Do you know why others can easily manipulate you? Because you care too much about their approval. You're afraid of being disliked, afraid of offending others, afraid of being abandoned. And that very fear turns you into a puppet in the hands of those who understand psychological manipulation. You think that by always agreeing, always being agreeable, people will like and respect you? Wrong. When you have no boundaries, others take your compliance for granted. The more you try to please, the easier you are to exploit. Stoicism teaches that it's better to be hated for staying true to your values than to be loved for being fake. If you want to take back control of your life, keep reading, because this is just the first reason why you're so easily manipulated. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. Do you constantly watch your words, your actions, just to avoid upsetting anyone? Have you ever done things you disliked just to avoid being judged? If the answer is yes, then sorry, but you're the perfect prey for manipulators. The most easily controlled people aren't the ignorant or the weak. They're the ones who crave acceptance from others. They fear being disliked, fear disappointing someone, fear not being recognized. And that fear makes them puppets for those skilled in psychological manipulation. Take Daniel's story as an example. He was a hardworking employee, always striving to do his job well. But he had one problem. He never dared to say no. When his boss asked him to work overtime without pay, he nodded. When colleagues dumped their work on him, he didn't refuse. He thought that by always being easygoing, everyone would like him. But what happened? People started treating his compliance as an expectation. They dumped tasks on him, took advantage of his kindness, and when he could no longer keep up, they tossed him aside without hesitation. Daniel made the same mistake many people do, believing that others' acceptance is the most important thing. He forgot one simple truth. People don't respect those who are too easy. Stoicism teaches that you can't control others' thoughts, but you can control yourself. Strong people don't seek approval, they seek respect. And respect only comes when you set boundaries, when you dare to say no to unreasonable demands. If you don't want to be manipulated, stop chasing universal approval. Live by your principles, not by others' expectations. And if someone doesn't like it, screw them. You weren't born to please the whole world. Have you ever noticed how some people are easily swayed by others' opinions, like a leaf drifting aimlessly in the current? Today, they hear someone say they should do A, and they agree. Tomorrow, another person convinces them B is better, and they immediately change direction. And just like that, they never truly take control of their lives. They are merely products of the thoughts and pressures surrounding them. This is a classic sign of someone who is easily manipulated, lacking a firm stance. If you don't know what you truly believe in, you will always be pulled into the opinions of others. Manipulators don't have to force you. They simply need to plant a new thought in your head, a seemingly reasonable suggestion. And just like that, you follow along without even realizing it. A lack of conviction usually stems from two main factors: low self-confidence and an unclear personal value system. If you don't trust yourself, you will always assume that others' opinions hold more weight than your own. You will doubt your own thoughts, and instead of standing firm in what you believe is right, you will follow the crowd just to feel safe. Stoicism does not allow this. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca emphasized building a strong personal value system. You need to know what truly matters to you, what is right according to your own standards. And most importantly, you need the courage to stand by it, even if the whole world is against you. Next time someone tries to manipulate you with words or psychological pressure, stop and ask yourself, does this align with my values? If the answer is no, then don't do it. Don't fear criticism, don't fear isolation. Respect doesn't come from pleasing everyone. It comes from standing your ground in the face of opposition. And if you don't build your own stance, you will forever live by the script that others write for you. We have the power to make a difference. Hit like on this video and share a positive comment to spread uplifting energy. Together, we're creating a compassionate and supportive community where kindness thrives, inspiring more people to live with purpose, strength, and positivity. Have you ever made a decision purely out of anger, excitement, or fear? Have you ever done something you later regretted just because, in that moment, your emotions overpowered your logic? If so, congratulations, you've been a puppet of your own mind. And worse, if you don't learn to control your emotions, manipulators will do it for you. Master manipulators don't need to use force or violence. They only need to control your emotions. They know that when you're afraid, you'll seek safety and willingly follow anyone who promises to ease your anxiety. They understand that when you're angry, you'll act recklessly and be easily led. And when you're overly excited, they can persuade you to do things you would never normally agree to. Stoicism has one core principle: never let emotions dictate your actions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So how do you prevent your emotions from becoming a tool for manipulation? Practice emotional distancing. Before reacting to anything, pause. Don't reply to a message while you're angry. Don't make major decisions when you're overly happy or deeply fearful. Give yourself time to evaluate the situation with reason, not impulse. The weak let their emotions drive their lives. The strong control their emotions and use them as tools to achieve their goals. Who do you want to be? A puppet on a string or a warrior with absolute self-mastery? The choice is yours.
Have you ever agreed to do something you didn't want to, just because you were afraid of upsetting someone? Has anyone ever made an unreasonable request, and instead of refusing, you reluctantly nodded? If so, you are the perfect target for manipulators. Weak people aren't manipulated because they're stupid or incompetent. They're manipulated because they fear confrontation. They fear conflict, fear being disliked, fear the judgmental stares of others. So they take the easiest path, agreeing to everything, complying with every demand, hoping that, if they're good enough, people will treat them well. But reality works in the opposite way. Those who don't know how to say no will always be exploited. When you avoid confrontation, people take your compliance for granted. You don't want to work overtime, but because you won't say no, your boss will keep piling more tasks onto you. You don't enjoy being dragged into meaningless social events, but since you never refuse, your so-called friends will continue to drain your time and money. And worse, when you constantly give in, the respect people have for you will slowly disappear. Stoicism teaches that you have no obligation to please everyone. Epictetus once said, "If you want to control your life, start by controlling what you agree to." You have the right to say no. You have the right to put yourself first. And most importantly, you don't need to apologize or justify it. Next time someone tries to pressure you into doing something you don't want to, remember, saying no is not disrespectful. It is an act of self-respect. If you don't learn to say no, you will spend your entire life living on someone else's terms. Have you ever wondered why some people are constantly pushed around, while others always have a voice and command respect? The answer is simple. They lack real power. And in a world driven by power, if you have no value, you will be controlled. The most easily manipulated people are those who have nothing to rely on except the pity of others. They have no special skills, no financial independence, no social standing. They live in fear of being abandoned, replaced, or forgotten. And that makes them the perfect prey for those who are stronger. Imagine a man stuck in a job he absolutely hates. He knows his boss doesn't respect him, his coworkers take advantage of him, yet he continues to endure it. Why? Because he lacks the skills to find a better job, the financial security to walk away, and the courage to stand up for himself. So what happens? He remains exploited, oppressed, and trapped in a life that isn't truly his. Power doesn't mean controlling others. It means having the ability to control yourself. Stoicism teaches that true strength isn't measured by wealth or status, but by the ability to stand firm without depending on anyone. Epictetus once said, "Only when you master yourself are you truly free." Want to break free from manipulation? Start by upgrading yourself. Learn, develop skills, build personal value, and create financial independence. When you have real competence, no one can control you. When you have options, you can't be forced. And when you have value, people are compelled to respect you. This world does not pity the weak. If you aren't strong enough, you will be manipulated. If you don't take control of your life, someone else will. Will you be the master or remain the puppet? If you've read this far, then one truth is undeniable. You have been manipulated before, maybe even right now. And if you don't take action, it will continue indefinitely. You are easily manipulated because you crave acceptance, because you lack a firm stance, because you let emotions control you, because you fear confrontation, and because you lack real power. None of this is due to circumstances or other people. It is a result of your own choices. You let it happen. But here's the good news, you can stop it today. Stoicism teaches that the greatest human strength is self-mastery. When you learn to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you will no longer be a puppet in someone else's game. You don't need to please everyone. You don't need to fear confrontation. You don't need to depend on anyone. You can become the one who sets the rules instead of being played by others. The final question is, will you keep letting others pull the strings of your life, or will you cut them right now? The choice is yours. Thank you for watching. Support this amazing community by subscribing and turning on notifications now. Hit like and share your experience in the comments to spread positive energy today. Together, we can inspire and uplift each other on this journey.